it is finally that time again. I'm going to do my predictions for the ALCS, NLCS, and the World Series for this year. So the Yankees, they're here again, and they don't have to worry about the Astros stopping them. But that does not mean this is going to be a cakewalk, because the Guardians are quite a formidable team. Are they capable, is the question. And, well, pitching-wise, I think they've been doing really good. Shut the Royals down pretty well, mainly the starting pitching. Their bullpen has been very favorable for them. But, I mean, you guys got, like, Garrett Cole. I mean, that little bit of a running gag with Garrett Cole where, like, oh, he chokes in the playoffs. Well, apparently not this time. He was able to take over and just shut down the Royals, who have been hitting pretty solidly all year. And you guys got guys like Luis Gil, Carlos Rodon as well. Starting pitching for the Yankees has been pretty good all year long. And I mean, they got great relievers as well, like Clay Holmes, Ian Hamilton. Pitching staff for the Yankees is crazy. And then Juan Soto, Aaron Judge even, MVP, clear. Well, not clear, AL MVP. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. was right behind him, but I mean, it's quite obvious Aaron Judge is the AL MVP. Stanton as well, Torres, even Birdie, Volpe, Austin Wells. Offense and pitching, defense. The Yankees are stacked, and they did look in just a little bit, not entirely, like a little bit off here and there, but in general, the Yankees have a just powerhouse team. So what's the case for the Cleveland Guardians? Well, it's also their pitching. Beebe and Cobb, great starters. And it's mainly that bullpen. Prime example, Clase, who has just been absolutely a lockdown reliever. And he's kind of been what's the reason why the Guardians have been winning these games is relievers in the bullpen. And Clase is the prime example. Guardians also have an elite pitching staff. The hitting as well, cannot overlook that as well. Guys got like Naylor, Fry, from J-Ram, Stephen Kwan, and Lane Thomas kind of put the nail in the coffin of Game 5 for the ALDS. So just like the Yankees, the Guardians also have crazy hitters that clutch up when it matters. So I can see this, in general, a very close series. I don't know if it's just going to be coming down to the pitching, because both have crazy pitching. I'd say that the Yankees have more advantage in the starting pitching, and the Guardians have the advantage in the relieving. So I think it's going to come down to who can overtake that aspect of the hitting. Can the Guardians get an early start in those games and get a advantage over that elite starting pitching of the Yankees, and then get even more off the bullpen? And can the Yankees get enough hits in to where they don't really have to worry about that strong bullpen of Cleveland? With that being said, I'm going to run through this game by game. Game 1, I think will go to the Yankees. And then Game 2, the Guardians strike back. Game 3 goes to the Yankees, as well as Game 4. And then in the last game of the 3 games in Cleveland, the Guardians say, we're not losing in 5 and force a Game 6. But since it's going back to New York, the Yankees move on to World Series in 6. And so now that brings us to the NLCS. Also, 2 teams that have looked really good throughout the playoffs and in this main season as well. More so the Dodgers, because the Mets, they were in a rut for a majority of the year. It did not even look like they were going to make the playoffs, and they barely narrowed their way in as the 6th seed right at the end of that final doubleheader against the Braves. And they captivated. This Mets team is on freaking fire. They are not one to be messed around with. And who do they go against? None other than the Dodgers. The Dodgers kind of defied expectations, I would say. Their pitching just completely locked in. It was either that or the Padres hitting ran out of gas. But the Dodgers pitching, mainly that bullpen, really just stood out. Blake Treinen, mainly. I wouldn't say that their main pitching isn't all that outstanding, but it's been able to, make do and suffice 24 innings where the Padres were not able to score a single run. When you look at the starters, there's not really that many crazy ones. Like, there is Walker Buehler, but he hasn't really been able to get fully back into form like he was in the early 2020s. And obviously got Yamamoto, who's been really good as well as a starting pitcher. It mainly comes down to the hitting of the Dodgers. Almost at every single position, you got a great hitter. You got Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez. Just a home run machine, obviously, no doubt. Shohei Ohtani, the clear NL MVP. Crazy season. This Dodger team is not one to mess with. Mets on both sides of the plate. You got great players. I mean, pitching-wise, Sean Manaea, Tyler McGill, Senga even, and then obviously Edwin Diaz at relief. I would also say that Colin Moore goes to the hitting for the Mets. P. Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Lindor, Iglesias, Starling Marte, JD Martinez. Goes on and on for the Mets hitting, as it does for the Dodgers. So I think that this NLCS is going to be the more high scoring rather than the ALCS, which I think that one's going to be more pitching, defensive wise. So what do I think? I think that Mets take game 1. Dodgers win game 2. And then the Mets win game 3 in New York. Dodgers trying to bring it back and tie it up 2-2. And then the Mets go in and win the last 2 and also win in 6 just as the Yankees. And so, lo and behold, this would result in a Subway Series World Series. One that we have not seen since 2000. I think that if both Mets and Yankees kind of play the way that they've been playing, Yankees with their elite starting pitching and powerful hitters, and the Mets with their real solid pitching and red hot hitting, that this is going to be a fun series to watch. Now, who wins this? Well, I think it's also going to come down to who can take advantage of starting pitching or that bullpen and who can hit the hottest. And I gotta say, which team is more on fire right now? It's the Mets, but can the Yankees slow them down? Well, the Yankees were able to slow the Royals down a little bit, but the Yankees were also able to hit better. And as for the Mets, they were just able to score like crazy on that weak Phillies bullpen. So this really goes either way. The way I see it, here's how it goes. Yankees in the Bronx take game 1. And the Mets answer back to make it 1-1 in game 2. We head over to Queens for 3 games. The Mets go up 2-1 in game 3. The Yankees answer back and make it 2-2. The Yankees strike again and make it 3-2. And going back to the Bronx, the Mets force game 7 and win it. I thoroughly believe that the way it's played right now, this Mets team is hot enough to win the World Series. It's been a while for the Mets. This is the one they finally win it. Yankees got to wait a little bit longer. But that's the way I see it for the ALCS and the NLCS and the World Series. And we're just going to see how this goes.